turn this off.
Yeah, I've turned mine off and down. I'm just going to check that it's live. We're live. Hi, this is Susie Chill, and welcome to episode, I think we're up to 15 of the Abundance Show, where I share with you tools, tips, and people with amazing experiences so that you can become more of who you are, really learn that loving yourself is so important if you want to live an abundant life on all levels. But today we're talking more with the beautiful Debbie Mewes. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi, Susie. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolute delight. Debbie and I have met through a business, the online, where, as you know, people who know me, but Debbie is a psychic medium. She is also the author, I have just been rereading part of this, of The Reluctant Psychic. And it's very interesting because you were born psychic, Debbie, right?
Yeah.
The stories in here of what she was able to tap into from a very young age, and tell directors of be able to see into, a director of a company who had a really failing health system, and she mentioned to her husband, and he didn't really take it in. But a little while later, husband came home and said, director wants to come and see you. You were actually spot on. So what a beautiful gift to have, but which has enabled you to also become successful in your psychic business, but successful in an affiliate marketing business. And Debbie, maybe you'd like to just tell people a little bit about you that will maybe inspire them to, discover a bit more about how all this magic that we experience every day.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Hello. Hi, everyone. Yes, I've been working probably professionally in the spiritual field, so as a medium and psychic for over probably, I'm looking at maybe 25 years now. And I have been entrepreneurial in all sorts of other ventures at the same time. So, but what I find is it's kind of the same thing. So to be successful in a business or as an entrepreneur, you really do have to tap into or trust your intuitive feel for something. And so Susie mentioned we're both in a particular online business together. And I know that when I first encountered it and I first looked at it, I had that feeling that I recognize. So every fiber of my being knew it was a good thing. Like I've got quite a big database of people from the years of work. And so I would be pitched offers all the time. Different companies, different MLMs, everyone had something that they would offer me that they wanted me to, to get involved with and consequently, pitch to my database. But none of them ever really resonated, or I never got that sensation. But when I first encountered this one and I looked at it, I knew that it was different, firstly, and I knew that it was beneficial for everybody and globally, and I knew that it would be huge. And so I jumped in really quickly without any hesitation. And consequently, because I had such a degree of knowing and faith in it, it went well. There was never a moment's hesitation with me. I didn't doubt anything. And I think that's the key. I think if you can stay strong to your intuition and you don't have any reservations or doubts, then you're emanating that vibration of success even before you get started. And so consequently, success has to happen.
That is, so I'm just sharing this to my profile. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Debbie, because it's that trusting your intuition. And that takes me back to, how I started all this show was about, loving you. So to be able to really trust your intuition, you do have to love yourself. You have to know you're enough, and have high sort of self-worth. So no doubt. Yeah. So was there a point where you had to do a lot of work on yourself for self-love along the way?
You know what? I've been different all along, and
I love it.
I have. I've been a different beast all the way through, and I think that one of the reasons that success has kind of gravitated around me in both this and the spiritual field is that I've never really worried about anyone else. I never went through those wobbly moments where, I worried about other people. I know I had to work a lot in the early days with the gift that I had. And I know when I first started doing it, I did it as more of a like a fun party trick. I didn't want it to be known that it was a real thing. So I worked in the casino industry, and I would just do this thing, where people would come up to me and I would tell them, how many kids they're going to have, because we're all in the 30s, how many kids they were going to have and what order and all of that. But I disguised it as a, the ring on the string kind of thing. My grandmother used to sex chickens that way.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and so I used to just play around with that. And so I just disguised it. And then even when I first launched into, when everyone started understanding that they could come to me and I could tell them things that would happen, I kind of disguised that as well. But I think that, they say to be in the spiritual field, and you'll know this as well, to be in the spiritual field or, to be a medium or psychic, you need the sensitivity of a butterfly and the hide of a rhino. And I think that that's what happened over the years, is the sensitivity grew, but the hide of the rhino also grew. So then when I got to this business, I wasn't fazed by people. So yeah, it was a process. I think it was a process.
So I think that's interesting because, my big self-love awakening was sitting in a dialysis chair, having been told, I had a choice of life, death, or dialysis. And that for me was a real shock. And this might relate to sort of some other people as well. You might be sort of thinking, well, what I was happening for me at that time was I was trying to launch a law of attraction business, actually. I just trained as that, done things. But I was also having my art and whatever else all over here and helping Des and things. And I realized I thought I was happy and things like that, but my body obviously had different ideas. And I landed up in Tweed Hospital, and I'm very, I'm always grateful every day that I'm sitting here because I got that message. When I said, why me? Why dialysis? I never had any kidney problems. And it said, I got this huge download, and that said, Susie, you will be healed when you fully love yourself, and then you will share the message of love with the world. For me, it was a shock. I bought Louise Hay's, You Can Heal Your Life when it first came out. So it was a real shock to me, but I realized what happens, and I think this happens, people get to that draw a line in the sand moment and think, I've got to find something else that is going to fulfill me, is going to allow me to share my message. And something that I've always said, what I want written on my tombstone is Susie Chill. She impacted millions of people around the world. I've always had that from, years and years ago. So you can't do that unless you're really tapped into you.
Absolutely.
And you really, as Debbie says, trust that intuition, because we all have a feeling, a sense inside. And I think also for, the business, and we're going to be sharing with you shortly, something that Debbie has created that helps people really tap into who they are, really tap into being abundant, because some of us live in lack and fear. And some of us, as I shared with my tribe recently, I had a mentor who said, Susie, I think you're blocking your own abundance, with just something I had on my website, which I thought was fascinating. And I wasn't seeing it. So, there's just ways of doing that. And that maybe segues us quite well into the F.E.M experience.
The F.E.M experience is 7 days. It's a 7-day program, and it runs on the first Monday of every month. And it's designed to run together. So it's not a program that's continually running, that you can do at any time. It's designed so that everybody goes through together. And the reason for that is because it's a very nurturing process. And there's 3 of us that are involved in running it for people. There's 2 of us, surprisingly, from the spiritual field. And the other lady is from the corporate world. So she's, been in very large corporations at a very high level for many years. So what we do is we kind of nurture everyone through the process. And the beginning of the process is that we do get in there and crack some belief systems wide open. And some people might even find some of it challenging in the beginning because it's not anything that they're used to. But what we're actually doing is if you think about yourself as a kind of a vessel or a container, what we're actually doing is we're cracking the sides of that so you can expand bigger. Because if you're always within the one container, if you keep yourself contained within the one reality, so to speak, you can't access beyond that. So we spend the first couple of days cracking that open and giving you awareness of vibration and reality beyond that. And then we go into some practical entrepreneurial skills. And one of them is finding out who you are and how you are already branded. So whether people know it or not, you already have a brand. People know you as something. And so we take you through a process of finding out how it is you're perceived and what's your brand already. And then if you like the way the brand is around you, then developing it. And if you don't, then changing it. And then we go through on day 4, I've just added another element to day 4.
Oh, really? I will just tell people I had the experience of doing the last one with Debbie. And I know lots, and I know how to set lots of things up online, but I still learnt things from being in there. So, this is wonderful. So you've added something to it, right?
Yeah, day 4, we've added the opportunity to, and the know-how and the training to create the income back that you paid to do the F.E.M experience. So day 4, you can essentially, your homework is to do something in particular, and you actually generate the income back that you paid to do the F.E.M experience. And that's kind of the beginning of your opportunity to create income beyond that.
Creating income. Yeah. So this is wonderful, I believe, for people who are just starting out.
Yeah.
People who, they're thinking, maybe I'd love to have an online business. What I'm saying is more time, more money, freedom, more time with your family. I've got friends who I know want to spend more time with their grandchildren. And to do that, often they have to travel because they might live on the other side of the world or another city. So with doing, just starting with this little thing shows you how you can just get started to create initially a small income. But Debbie also has a way that she shows us how you can create what
a big income.
a big, yeah, let's say a big income. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's designed, there's opportunity all the way through it. You get things like sales funnels and social media training and all of that.
That was I have to say that was amazing. The funnel. I mean, I already have a funnel, but I was amazed. I thought, oh wow! So for somebody who doesn't have a website, you can use what Debbie is showing you, and I just thought that was brilliant. That was a brilliant way without having to go through that whole thing, and you could build a business around that.
Yeah, and it's already designed for you. You just have to click on a button and you get hold of it yourself. You just tweak it to make it look the way you want it. So it's a very nurturing process right through to the end, where then we show you, as you say, how to take what you've learned. And there's two ways of generating income at the end. There's one at the front end, which is the one that you'll do on day 4, and that's ongoing. You can do that for as long as you want. That can be a little side business if you want, that you put out there and make an income from. And then there's something at the back end of that where you can really amplify the opportunity. But it's all totally up to everybody. But the actual F.E.M experience itself is a standalone training for $97 US. So for the $97 US, you'd get definite value for that in the training.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can testament to that. Yeah. It's it was. I didn't have a lot of time when this was presented to me, see whether it was something I wanted to try. And I thought, yeah, this is something I can add to my affiliate toolkit.
Yeah, it is definitely.
And that's what, I like to have different things that I can offer to my tribe who want to do things in different ways. As well as, Debbie still has people who work with her, and I still have people who, I'm doing a reading for somebody this afternoon. So I'm still doing my readings, and I really want to get my art back in the world. So when you're an affiliate, it creates that space to be able to do the other things that make your heart sing.
Yes. Yeah.
And well as
focus.
Yes. And as well as giving you a tool to impact your life and the world.
Yeah. A big focus of the F.E.M experience is, affiliate marketing might not be your passion in life, but affiliate marketing and the way that we've run the F.E.M experience, the way it's set up and the way that it will support you ongoing, will allow you to do your passion in life. It'll allow you to have a vehicle that, will help you to generate the income to go off and travel. I support an orphanage in Indonesia. It's not actually an orphanage. It's a home for the intellectually disabled. So it doesn't get any funding from anywhere, governments or anything. And my sister-in-law is Indonesian, and it's her and I that support this orphanage. So, since I've done it, we've bought them beds. They used to sleep on the floor. They now sleep on beds. We supply their clothes and their food. We've built them a bathroom. We've repainted.
So beautiful.
Yeah. So eventually I'd like to actually build them a new building, because, they're in fairly ramshackle conditions. But the online business that I have allows me to do that. So, if you think about it, your online business doesn't need to be your passion or your purpose in life, but it will support you to do your purpose in life, because you're free, you're time free, and there's no limit to the income you can generate. I've been lucky and I've been successful, but there is no limit. You're not trading time for income anymore. And you, Susie, know about trading time for income, because we do it sometimes as well.
Yes.
It's set up
I think you've just hit on why I originally looked at this business. I looked at this business because I had some debt, and I saw somebody talking about this, and I thought, oh, hold on. She came to a reading for me a while ago. Look at what she's doing now. And I thought, all right, I needed to look at it. And I've always seen it. I've flip-flopped a bit with this, but I have always seen it as being a way that can really support my heart whisper and private or movement I want to build with my oracle and my books and my readings. And I've always thought, you've got to be one or the other. But I've realized now that I can do that. But, for me, it's probably, it was, my husband, Des, who actually really, he got what the business is about, because he's a social media person, and he really got it. And he'd been looking for something. So for him, it's his business, although he still does coaching. Whereas for me, it's, yes, I absolutely, one of the things I would like to say, I would probably never, I might have met Debbie if I was up on the Sunshine Coast or something. But what I would like to say to people is what I found with the affiliate business that we have joined together is the community. I mean, I have found it just here on the Gold Coast, as well as, people in America and other people who we work with now, the most heart-centered community that I have. I mean, I've been part of ones online, but I hadn't found the same sort of thing where I live. Now I'm surrounded by lots of people who, are doing the same thing. So it's, I just find, there's lots of conscious entrepreneurs out there who want to have something else that allows them to share their message with the world.
And I think the business, the core aspect of it is global improvement. It is, and I think that it has kind of a soul and a vibration of its own, and as a consequence, it is drawing into it people that are of that same vibration. So that's why the community that we are connected with is such a heart-centered and awake community, because I think the business is calling those people to it. And I think that there's a greater purpose. I think that eventually in a few years, we'll find that we are making big changes. There are a lot of us that are in the business, and we're in the business for the ethics, for the what it stands for the vibration of it that we're attracted to, for the community that it is. But we're all going off and doing amazing things globally as well.
Yes, so that's what I'm really noticing that. Yes. Yeah,
we're all supporting orphanages. We're building schools. We're, our
things with purpose. Water and
And so I think we all have bigger purposes, and the business is calling us to it, and it's allowing us a vehicle to free up our time, create incredible income. There's no limit to what you can create, and then go off and change the world. And I think that, it's a movement, really. It is, it's more than just an online business. I really feel that it is a movement in itself.
So if you're heart-centered and you're looking for something, feel free to drop questions in here. If you're watching the replay, just put replay, and I'll come
definitely.
And,
if you do,
sorry,
if you do want to do the F.E.M experience, Susie will have a link that she can give to you. And if you there it is. That's clever. So if you do want to do that, I'm happy to send you a copy of the book that Susie's reading right now. So I'll sign a copy and shoot it out to you. So
it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. I got it from Debbie a while ago, and it sat on my shelf, and I thought, I must get that out and read it. And and I picked up Des's had a lurgy, which I managed to avoid, but he gave it to me. I thought, all right, I took a day off and took some time out and read it. So that was really good.
Yeah, so I'm happy to send that out. So anyone that does the experience by you. If
anybody likes that, you can get a copy. And for those of you who want some more guidance on your own psychic ability, because we all have it. It's just sometimes we don't believe it. There is, at the back, Debbie talks about how you can increase your own abilities and in that way. Well, Debbie, this has been wonderful. I'm sure my tribe will love listening to this. Do you have a parting message for people who are spiritual but think, oh, maybe I can't do the business, but there is a way that you can combine both?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So we've created, sometimes in the online business, it requires you to learn the skills of digital marketing, go out there, do it on your own. We've created something where you don't have to do it on your own. You are, you're part of us and you're supported, and being, if you're a very spiritual person, then we get you. We get the way you
right, we do. We definitely get you. And we're here. I'm here for anybody who wants to join you, and with Debbie with the F.E.M experience, there's even more support. So I think it's really special.
Cool. Lovely chatting to you.
It's been wonderful chatting to you today too, Debbie, and thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
And I would just remember for everybody to open your hearts to love, because you can love yourself into abundance. Namaste, and we'll see you next Friday with the beautiful Ali May will be on next week as well. Okay, thank you.